All right, today we're diving deep into the shadows of cosmic horror. We're going to uncover the absolutely terrifying story behind a very specific and very nasty group, Nyarlathotep's Church of Starry Wisdom. And what better way to kick things off than with a quote from Lovecraft himself that just perfectly sets the tone. See, this isn't about some monster sleeping at the bottom of the ocean. This is about a presence that brings active, immediate, screaming terror wherever it shows up. So, you might think our story begins in some lost, ancient city, right? Nope. It actually starts in a pretty modern setting, 19th century Providence, Rhode Island. Up on a place called Federal Hill, a church was founded, and with it a dark secret that was about to terrorize the entire city. You know, for all the horror it caused, the Starry Wisdom sect had a shockingly brief but incredibly violent run. It was founded in 1844 by an archaeologist, a Professor Enoch Bowen, and it only took them 4 years to summon something terrible into their church. By 1877, the public had had enough, and the whole thing came crashing down. Yeah, let's be clear, this was not some quiet little book club. The church was a real public menace. It was directly linked to a bunch of disappearances, including a reporter named Edwin Lillibridge who was looking into them. The backlash from the city was so fierce that when the church finally got shut down, most of its members just vanished. And the rumors suggest they didn't all just pack up and leave town, if you know what I mean. So what in the world was going on inside that creepy, abandoned church tower to cause so much fear and violence? Well, the answer isn't a belief or a doctrine. It's an object, a single alien artifact called the Shining Trapezohedron. So the story goes that Professor Bowen found this bizarre crystalline thing during a dig in Egypt, and he brought it all the way back to Providence. But this was no mere souvenir. It was a gateway. The lore tells us that if you gazed into its dark alien depths, you could see visions of other worlds, other dimensions, cosmic sights that would just shatter a normal person's mind. And check this out. This shows you just how ancient and terrifying this thing's history really is. Bowen was just the last guy in a very long and very dark line of owners. This thing was supposedly crafted by the alien Mi-Go. It passed through the, non-human hands of the Elder Things and the Serpent People, and was even worshipped by a heretic pharaoh eons before it ever landed in America. But here's the thing. Staring into this trapezoidian, it wasn't like watching a movie. It was more like making a phone call. It was an invitation. And you know what? Something on the other end picked up. It was called the Haunter of the Dark. So this is the thing that was squatting up in that pitch-black, windowless church steeple, a creature made of pure, living darkness. And the only thing you could see of it was its single, horrifying three-lobed eye. Now, it was incredibly fragile. Any kind of light would basically destroy it. But in the total dark, it was a god. It offered its worshippers forbidden knowledge from across the universe. But the price for those secrets was steep. We're talking monstrous, continuous human sacrifices. But here's a crucial little detail the lore makes super clear. The Haunter of the Dark wasn't the big boss. It was just an avatar, a tiny piece of something much, much bigger. Which, of course, begs the question, right? If this nightmare creature was just the messenger, who or what was sending the message? And this is where we get to the real heart of it all, the true master behind the curtain, the unimaginable power behind the Haunter. A being whose name is basically a synonym for active, malicious, cosmic horror, the crawling chaos. Yep, Nyarlathotep, that thing in the steeple, just one of 1,000 masks he wears. Think about it. Most of these outer gods are described as these mindless, chaotic forces of nature at the center of everything. But Nyarlathotep? He's their soul, their messenger, their active will. He's the one who actually walks among lesser species, like us, to carry out their insane plans. Okay, to really get why Nyarlathotep is a special kind of terrifying, let's put him up against the big guy, the one everybody knows, Cthulhu. And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? Cthulhu is basically a sleeping, psychic bomb waiting down in his sunken city. His influence is passive, kind of like a nightmare being broadcast from the deep. But Nyarlathotep? Oh no. He's active. He's mobile. He is an intelligent, malicious manipulator who is already here, walking the earth and actively plotting our doom. And this quote just nails his whole MO, right? He doesn't smash down the gates of reality. He just puts on a human suit, a waxen mask, and walks right in the front door. He uses deception and charisma and propaganda to gather followers and just rot civilizations from the inside out. So because he's this direct, hands-on kind of entity, it makes total sense that the Starry Wisdom cult wasn't a one-off thing, not even close. Nyarlathotep is a god of countless cults, mainly because he often starts them himself, showing up in a different disguise for each group of his followers. I mean, look at this, and this is just a tiny sample of his reach. You've got the Starry Wisdom sect in Providence worshipping the Haunter of the Dark. Over in Egypt, you have the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, who worshipped him when he looked like a human pharaoh. Then, in Kenya, the Cult of the Bloody Tongue sacrificed people to a totally different, horrific form. All different faces, all the same chaotic god. And the list of his different faces, it's just mind-boggling. We're talking the Haunter, the Black Pharaoh, the bloated woman in China, the black man who appeared in European witch hunts. There's even a pimp in modern LA known as Mr. Skin. He's a cosmic shapeshifter, a living virus of madness that adapts to every single culture he wants to corrupt. So when you put all of this together, you get to this one really chilling takeaway. The greatest threat from the cosmos isn't some sleeping monster we might one day wake up by mistake. The true horror is the one that's already walking among us, the one with a plan, the one who looks and sounds just like one of us. And that's what I want to leave you with. This one, really unsettling thought. If the soul and messenger of the outer gods is an active, intelligent shapeshifter with 1,000 faces who absolutely loves to deceive people, how could you ever be sure he isn't standing right next to you?